Welcome to Unit 1 on Critical Thinking and Statistics. In this unit, before diving into running statistical tests, we first need to talk like statisticians. We will look at how statistics are used with critical thinking. The various types of data will be explored, along with how to collect data for a sample. Once that data is collected, we will summarize this data in frequency distributions and histograms. Some of the more popular displays on how to display data. Graphs that enlighten and graphs that will deceive will be compared to bolster how a graph should be best displayed. Since, after all, one of the more endearing aspects of statistics is you could use it to really fundamentally explain what you're talking about, but it could also be used to deceive people as well. So, those are very important topics. Finally, scatter plots will be drawn and a regression line of best fit will be applied to the dataset. So the objectives for this particular unit are to identify parts of statistical thinking, identify and explain types of experiments and observational studies along with sampling designs, organize the data into charts and graphs to summarize findings, discuss how well the graphs fit the data by assessing the linear regression and correlation, and then identify and discuss both sampling errors and graphical mistakes. And here you can see the activities for this unit. They're just to review the course information page, which if you watched my introduction video, you could see that on there as well. For you to download and save the syllabus, again, it's also in that video. Introduce yourself in the introduction discussion board, which there's a link to down below here. You could also access it in the introductions tab. Read, view, and engage with readings and resources, which we'll be going through in one moment here, but you can find the link to our textbook, well, I should say to VitalSource, to use our textbook with in the course information page. Complete and submit the Unit 1 assignment, which is a replacement to an actual discussion board, but that's basically on the usage of SAS. We'll see that in a moment. And then complete and submit the Unit 1 problem set. Again, that introduction discussion board you can find linked on here. And this will be due on Wednesday of the week. You don't have to necessarily respond to each other, but I mean, if you want to, feel free to. The readings and resources on here, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 will be explored in our textbook. Introduction to Statistics, and then exploring data with tables and graphs. I have a link to the SAS knowledge base, which if you click on it, you will see it opens up the knowledge base where you can ask various questions. You can also see samples, notes, problem notes, data samples, and various aspects that you could use, if you'd like to. But moving on. There's also supplemental resources on here, which you may or may not use if you want to, but it just gives you more information about the various topics that we'll be discussing in this class. The SAS download link is on here as well, which you could also find in my announcements, like the one that you're currently viewing this video on, for example. There's a whole bunch of videos on here as well, which you can watch if you want to. I'll be making my own ones based on these topics as well, so feel free to view what you would like. The Unit 1 assignment on here is on finding missing data, and let's click on. The data set that specifically deals with is linked on this assignment, which is this body temperatures data set. This one, unlike my video that's up on the Blackboard link, this one would actually open up in SAS. You just need to put this into the folder for the SAS University Edition. This one you do not have to actually import into SAS, which is nice. But clicking on this link will bring us to the assignment for finding missing data. And what you would be doing with this is to, well, download that body temperatures data set, and the missing data has a dot in it. Okay, so for the entire data set, we want to identify the rows with the missing entries and delete them. And there's several different rows where that occurs. And I do note on here that there's a sort feature that you could use in SAS. But by the time that this particular information here is posted, I should have a look into that sort feature posted as well. But as you can see, I have a whole bunch of information on here dealing with what you can find here inside of that. But as you can see, though, there are various instructions about those different columns in the data set and then sorting them to find those missing entries. Then ask describe how you sorted it, what process is necessary to actually delete the entries, and what happens if you deleted too much. Like, for example, too much of the data set, which, that's something that could potentially happen. But, and then how that would cause an issue. I should probably note there is more than one way to be doing this. But feel free to use whatever way that you feel would be beneficial for it. The only requirements for that, other than deleting those missing entries, is that this particular assignment needs to be 3 pages in length. It follows the APA formatting, and that you include all of the SAS code that you use on your new data set. But that's for that assignment. The Unit 1 problem set. Again, we have a whole bunch of data linked inside of this problem set here as well. But you click on this and you can open up the problem set, and as you can see, there's different point values for each of these questions, and you ask various things. And some of these would be answered in SAS, some of them you don't need it. Depends on the question. As you could probably assume, once we get to graphing and different calculations, it's probably best to do that in SAS, unless otherwise specified, of course. But you could also submit both of these assignments. Both of them have these links that you could see the rubric and the submission. So this is for the Find and Missing Data assignment, and this one is for the problem set. Alright. And on the bottom here, I have the project. The project. If you watch my introduction video, I note about the project on there, but you can find the link to it on the Unit 1 material on here as well, and it notes the due date of Sunday of Unit 4, meaning that you will have until then to complete those parts. And again, you could click on this link to view this document and the associated rubric for you to decide what to do with this particular project. But that's what we're doing here for Unit 1. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I am here to help you, and I want all of you to succeed. Thank you.